Yeah, of course, this is down in that losers quarterfinals, excuse me, as you can see on the right side of your screen, which means that whoever loses this series will be eliminated from the qualifier cup, and of course whoever wins will move on to eventually face the winner between Team Method and Splice. So that's already kind of a congratulations, you won, but now you have to face either Method or Splice. Like you win, but you kind of lose at the same time, because that's going to be a tough matchup no matter who they end up facing up against later on. But yeah, Tempo Storm versus Northern Gaming Red. This is a really tough one to call. Like you were saying, we were thinking this is probably going to end up being an RMD mirror. Both teams play RMD, which is Rogue Mage Druid, at an extremely high level. And of course, RMD. I love watching RMD mirrors because they're just so technical, and it really just comes down to who can do their setup the best, who can play through the setup the easiest, who can capitalize on the tiny mistakes here and there. And I really feel like Northern Gaming Red has a good shot at that. Of course, Tempo Storm, also a very, very strong team. But if we look back to last year, Tempo Storm versus the players that are now on Northern Gaming Red, Roasty and Cubsy, were playing last year. I believe they were playing for Cloud9 last year. The Lock Shaman Druid composition, instead of trying to go for that RMD mirror, why would they? What's the actual purpose of this?
I don't know. Maybe they know something we don't. Samayam, though, interestingly enough, is playing that Evanesce spec, so he's going to be able to use Evanesce to get that CC onto Goreki's when he needs to. Channel is getting open up onto right now. Goreki's actually caught into a sheep immediately by Samayam. I don't even know how he got that sheep off so fast. I think Goreki just got caught out of form. A DR sheep coming in onto Goreki. Dampener taking a little bit of damage right now, down to 50% HP. Goreki getting caught into that blind. He's going to have to trinket that. The NS coming up gets it off onto Jamili, so he's able to top him off for now, but he's already gone through his trinket as well as his NS.
Yeah, that's a lot of cooldowns already from Goreki. He does still obviously have his Iron Bark available as well as that Heart of the Wild, but without any trinket, it can actually be hard to use those if he needs to in a hurry. They're trying to turn it around now, though, onto Northern Gaming Red. Samayam taking a little bit of damage, and Dog Filter, which I believe is Roasty's, taking a little bit as well. But now there's the Kidney Shot coming out on Dampener and the Deep Freeze onto Goreki. This is the setup we're looking for. They do get the Polymorph off of the Deep Freeze, so Dampener is going to be taking a big chunk of damage here. The Shamanistic Rage comes out. Are they going to get any more follow-up CC onto Goreki? They get the Smoke Bomb out. Goreki's going to have to blink in to try and get some healing out, and he does manage to land that Iron Bark onto Dampener. He should be okay, but a very nice Cyclone's going to land, and that's going to just deny any potential benefit from that Iron Bark.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to get any incoming healing for the time being. Goreki actually getting, I think it was a bash onto Samayam there that he did trinket. Right now, Dampener is still in a lot of trouble. Goreki caught into the full sheep. Dampener does not have any cooldowns left for this. If Samayam and Rosis can get out the damage they need to, Dampener could fall here. The full Cyclone going out onto Goreki as well. Dampener doing an excellent job, though, kiting, just getting away, throwing the healing surges onto himself, realizing he was in a dire situation, but he's still not out of the woods yet. Goreki's still in CC. Rosi's able to reconnect on him. Goreki's still CC'd into the bash. Dampener doing everything he can to survive. Channel was throwing out as many fears as well. Samayam taking a little bit of damage too, so Temple Storm doing a great job cross-CCing, but this is the full Kidney Shot onto Dampener. He does have that Shamanistic Rage coming up in 1 second. He's going to need to use it right away. Garrote, though, onto him. As soon as that fades, he does use that Shamanistic Rage. Goreki does have his Heart of the Wild up as well, so he's going to have that empowered hot. He is going to be able to top off Jamili, but Northern Gaming Red actually able to get off so many cooldowns from Tempo Storm.
Yeah, they're really keeping Tempo Storm on the back foot through this whole setup. Goreki will have his trinket available again very soon, which will help, but with that Heart of the Wild now used, that's a long cooldown. He's not going to have that available again for another 5 minutes. It's a long time. There's the Deep Freeze now landing on a Goreki. He was in bear form, however. He was did a really good job recognizing that was coming. He does get caught in the Ring of Frost. Dampener, aka Jamili, caught him that cheap shot there for just a second. The blind comes out onto Goreki. Jamili could be in a lot of trouble still here, but it looks like, unfortunately, Samayam is not able to connect onto him very much. Just a little bit of, I believe he was trying to get a sheep out, but it was just Roasties hitting Jamili, so Jamili was able to get away from that pretty much scot-free, and now they're turning it around over here onto Cubsy, going to force him to get over here out of line of sight. They're going to get a Cyclone onto Samayam, and I'm wondering what direction they're heading now, who they're going to try and pick for their next target. Cubsy, though, getting a drink right now.
Goreki had an excellent Cyclone there onto Samayam. Rosi actually kind of wasting their go. Got the Garrote onto Dampener and the cheap shot onto Channel, but Samayam wasn't able to get any CC onto Goreki because of that Cyclone. Right now, Shadow Dance, though, is coming out from Rosi. Channel is the target of choice, taking a lot of damage at the moment. Goreki's realizing the situation, though, and was able to get a lot of hots on him. He is caught into that Cyclone at the moment. He does have Trinket available. He does have his Barks, or Iron Bark available as well, so it looks like Channel is going to be completely fine. They weren't able to really force any sort of defensive cooldowns from Temple Storm, and I think going on to Channels might be a mistake at this point in the game.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they need to keep putting as much pressure into Jamili as they can. It looks like maybe they're swapping back over onto him now. The cheap shot comes out into the Garou. They've got a full bash onto Gorecki. No healing coming from Gorecki for the time being. He's going to get caught into that full polymorph as well. Jamili could be in some trouble. He tries to go dog form just long enough to get over to that portal. He's going to take the Warlock portal, get over here, toss a heal on himself. He's going to be feeling totally fine right now, even though Gorecki is still caught into that Cyclone. Now the question is, can they turn it around? They're putting a bunch of damage into Roasties on Dog Filter, but is that going to be enough for them to actually start to put some serious pressure on? The smoke bomb comes out. He's trying to put a bunch of damage into Chanimal right now, but Samayam still taking some big chunks of damage. Actually has to catch an Iron Bark there from Cubsy to slow that damage down. And they actually did a really good job of reacting to that overall. But Chanimal is not out of the woods yet. In fact, he's super low. He does get the Iron Bark from Gorecki just in time as Gorecki is now caught into that full Cyclone. Gorecki does have his Trinket. He's just trying to hold on to that as much as he can, and it looks like that Iron Bark is going to be enough to let Chanimal stabilize.
If Northern Gaming Red can actually get Gorecki's Trinket without them using Blind, Gorecki actually saved his Trinket for the last Blind, so if he has to use it within those 2 minutes before Blind comes up, they actually have that opportunity for the next Blind to get a super long CC Che on him, and they might be able to capitalize onto that. Something to consider in this game as well is Samayam gave up his blazing speed to get this Evanescence spec, so he doesn't have quite the mobility that a Frostmage normally does, so when Dampener and Chanimals are kiting him around, it's hard for him to actually really connect and get out as much damage as possible, and I think Temple Storm is utilizing that to their advantage.
Yeah, one of the other downsides, of course, of the Evanescence is that you then don't have Ice Block, but we'll see. So far, it hasn't been a problem. We've now got a full Ring of Frost on Gorecki. He's finally going to come out of that. Once again, doing a great job being in bear form. The blind comes out. He's actually holding on to his Trinket, even though he's wandering around in that blind right now because Jamili had that the Shamanistic Rage active. Now as that Sham Rage falls off, Gorecki's still just being chained CC over and over and over again, but it looks like Dampener actually doing a great job staying alive. Now he finally catches that Iron Bark in the split second that Gorecki was out of CC. With that Iron Bark active, he's going to use the Demonic Gateway, get over here out of line of sight, and try to catch another couple of heals. He does have a couple of heal over time effects ticking away at him at this point, and that's going to be enough to top him back off again. Tempo Storm clawing their way back in, tooth and nail back into this game, and now it looks like they're trying to turn it back around on the Cubsy.
Yeah, Cubsy actually having to use his Iron Bark on himself there. Samayam taking a little bit of damage too, but this looks like Northern Gaming Red is going offensive. The full sheep onto Gorecki, kidney shot onto Dampener. He's taking a lot of damage, doesn't have Shamanistic Rage up for another 5 seconds. Gorecki might have to Trinket this Polymorph, being a little bit greedy here, but it might pay off for him. The triple DR Polymorph coming in. If Cubsy can get a Cyclone, no, he cannot. Channel's doing an excellent job interrupting that. Cubsy also taking a little bit of damage, having to use that Barkskin. The Cyclone, though, comes out from Cubsy onto Gorecki. I think he's using the Aura Mastery Glyph on his Barkskin, so he was able to get the full Cyclone onto Gorecki. The full kidney shot as well going out on him. Jamili's still in a lot of trouble. The Frozen Orb has come out from Samayam, doing a lot of damage onto Jamili at the moment. He does have that Shamanistic Rage up. Gorecki, Dampener, and Channels all have their trinkets available, so they're going to be A-okay for the next couple of goes if they rotate properly.
Yeah, I think the big thing that's sort of hurting Northern Gaming Red right now is they're allowing these tiny little gaps in the CC on Gorecki, and as soon as he comes out of CC, Druids have so many instant casts that he can just quickly throw something onto Dampener Jamili as soon as he pops out of any of that crowd control, and it's allowing him to keep Dampener alive despite these really, really long CC chains, just when that split second between another bit of CC shows up. Yep. So now both teams have actually disengaged a little bit. They've fallen back. Looks like they're just waiting for their next opener. We actually see Dog Filter, aka Roasties, now moving in, looking for a good opportunity there. He looked like he wanted to get a sap onto Dampener, but Dampener wisely started firing off some lava bursts there, got himself into combat, so no such sapness will be happening. Sapness? Apparently that's a word. I just made it up. But now it looks like here we go. They're moving in. There's the full deep freeze onto Gorecki, following up with that sheep. He does have his trinket available, but he's holding on to it. They're actually going after Chanimal right now. Chanimal has that dark regeneration active. It's going to give him a little bit of extra healing. The smoke bomb comes out, but he just moves right out of it. He's still so low though, but Gorecki just hanging on to that trinket for so long, manages to get the Iron Bark out again in one of those tiny little gaps in the crowd control, and Chanimal, for no good reason, is still alive.
Yeah, Jamili actually doing a great job throwing out those healing surges. Gorecki able to get off the NS as well as the Iron Bark, which was a big factor in keeping him alive. Chanimal still, though, dangerously low. Gorecki using that Heart of the Wild comes up again in this game, so big long cooldown finally up for him again. He's going to be able to empower his healing with that. Cubsy now caught into the full fear. Samayam going to be taking a little bit of damage. He does still have one charge of his Evanescence back if he needs it defensively. Ideally, he wants to use those offensively every single time so he can become immune and get out the polymorphs when he needs to on the Tempo Storm. And I think what we were talking about a little bit earlier is the CC breaks on a Goreki, and I think to Chanimal's credit, he's been doing an excellent job making sure he's getting the clutch Shadow Fears and the clutch Fears on the Samayam and Cubsy to make it very hard for them to actually get the follow-up CC on the Goreki.
Yeah, Goreki, though, caught into a blind, and he had already used his trinket, so he's going to be susceptible to the full might of Northern Gaming's fully charged and operational CC chain. But now they're just turning it around. They say, you know what, you're going to try and CC us? That's fine. We'll just kill your rogue. Dog Filter takes a whole bunch of damage, and that forces them to pull back just a little bit. Goreki caught into even more CC, just chain after chain after chain, getting caught into these Cyclones now. He's going to be able to get a couple of heals out onto Dampener. If he can get in line of sight, actually a little bit of a positioning snafu there for just a second, but he was able to toss out a couple of heals onto Dampener, and now it's Samayam who's in trouble, dipping down to 5% health. A whole bunch of burst damage just comes out of nowhere, and Tempo Storm turns it around, just erases Samayam.
I think Samayam actually had one charge left of his Evanesce, so that was sort of a down goes moment for him. I think he might have actually got interrupted on the polymorph, which what ended up making it so he couldn't use that defensive cooldown. But just a whole bunch of damage coming out from Tempo Storm, and sort of to me in a surprising fashion, taking this first game against Northern Gaming Red.
Yeah, and look at Chanimal's damage, 12 million damage. Now, it was a kind of a longer match. It was about a 10-minute match, but still 12, almost 13 million damage over the course of that. Plus, obviously, Dampener almost doubled Samayam's damage as well. So Tempo Storm just with that constant pressure, forcing Northern Gaming Red to...
I mean, we saw at one point in that game they were able to run away and sort of get a full reset. I think we could see that a lot more from Northern Gaming Red. Anytime they feel like they're in trouble, they can just pull back to the pillar, wait for cooldowns, and I think it's really hard for Tempo Storm to sort of chase after them.
Yep. Well, yeah, no, that's a very, very good point. We'll have to see how that works out here. We do have Northern Gaming Red just moving in here looking for that sap. They are going to land the sap onto Dampener and immediately open up onto Chanimal, just going hard onto him right away, actually dipping him down pretty low. Goreki already caught into a polymorph there, actually able to force out multiple cooldowns there from Goreki right away. Chanimal still super low. Goreki getting caught into that full blind. Are they going to be able to just chase Chanimal down and actually just kill him off here?
They might be able to. Goreki actually got bashed on his NS, and then it got dispelled, so he doesn't have that big heal that he needs. Chanimal's still dangerously low. The Garrote coming out from Goreki does have that Heart of the Wild up. The Cyclone, though, coming out from Cubsy onto Chanimals. He has no way to get out. If they can get any follow-up CC onto Goreki, surely Chanimals will fall here. The cheap shot, Smoke Bomb coming out, death from above. Chanimals is going to get smoked, and Northern Gaming Red ties up the series 1-1.
Wow. Okay, so Northern Gaming Red's new strategy was, well, we lost in the long game, so we'll just make this a 20-second game and see how that goes.
The same exact thing happened at the beginning of the game. Goreki went in for an offensive bash and immediately got sheeped by Samayam. Samayam just cast the polymorph on him and got the free sheep, and that's what started this pain train onto Chanimals. So I think he's going to have to be very careful about that in the next game.
Rogue Mage Paladin coming out for Tempo Storm. Jamili rocking that Arcane Mage.
Oh, wow.
We've seen him do this before. It's going to be really interesting to see how it works out for him. And in fact, he is running Evanesce. I'm checking Samayam real quick. Samayam has gone back to Ice Block. He's running Blazing Speed, and Ice Block. So these two teams might look very similar. They both have a Rogue and a Mage, but they are very, very different in terms of how they're going to play.
Yeah, we're going to have to see which team does a better job getting out the CC. Peekaboo actually playing Subtlety. Usually with this composition, you see the Rogue playing Assassination, but he's deciding to put his own spin on it, play that Subtlety spec, which he's so known for at the moment. We'll have to see who gets a better opener. I think if things play out perfectly, Northern Gaming Red will get the better opener because obviously Goreki can't go invisible like Cubsy can.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to kind of be, the game is kind of now, or excuse me, the ball is now sort of in Northern Gaming's court as they can see Goreki and they can start to open up on him if they want to. But what they're going to be wanting to do, well, actually, Jamili now running around spamming Arcane Explosion, trying to get people out of stealth, but it did not work out for him. He's immediately going to get opened up on here as that sap goes out onto Goreki, but Northern Gaming Red does a good job of shutting that, or excuse me, Tempo Storm does a good job of shutting down Northern Gaming Red. Wow, Samayam dipped down to 1% health, just barely got that ice block off in time. Cubsy caught into that full bash, and he's going to be caught into the Ring of Frost and the polymorph after that. They're just going to throw every single CC they have at him, kind of overlapping them a little bit, which is not ideal, but it seems to have worked out well for him. They've shut down Northern Gaming Red entirely in this opening push.
Goreki actually able to get a bop onto Jamili before he goes into that CC chain, so well done by him. Now Jamili's going to be completely fine at the moment, spamming out those spell steals over and over and over, removing Cubsy's hots from Samayam. Dog Filter now caught into that full kidney shot. Jamili, though, taking a little bit of damage at the moment. Samayam getting crazy aggressive. Goreki still caught into that CC chain. Cubsy doing a great job with the Cyclones. Jamili saved by the light procking onto him. Now Samayam's the one that's going to be in a little bit of trouble if they can get CC onto Cubsy. Goreki still not out of the woods, though, yet. Caught into that kidney shot. Now Cubsy caught into that full sheep. I think that was the Presence of Mind sheep coming out from Jamili. Goreki going to be using those wings to top off Jamili. The blind as well as the Hodge. A little bit of an overlap there from Temple Storm onto Cubsy. He is just going to safely trinket both of those. Goreki actually having to use his bubble as well to keep Jamili aggressive. Shadow Dance, though, coming out from Peekaboo. Samayam going to be in a world of hurt right now. The double Garrote coming out from Peekaboo onto Cubsy as well as Samayam. Cubsy doing an excellent job throwing that bash into a Cyclone on Peekaboo, shutting down that Shadow Dance and keeping Samayam alive for now.
Yeah, it's always awesome to see a healer decide, I'm not going to cast healing spells, I'm just going to do everything else that I have possible, just prevent the damage from ever happening in the first place. So well played by Cubsy there, with the Presence of Mind to be able to do that. Speaking of Presence of Mind, you pointed out the Presence of Mind sheep just a second ago. That's one of the other major advantages of Arcane, is just having that instant cast polymorph, so that you don't have to worry about being interrupted on that, along with the Evanesce that most Arcane mages will choose. Just makes it really, really hard to ever stop Jamili's crowd control, but they've been doing a great job of it, especially with these Cyclones. We can see now Jamili caught into a full Cyclone there, not able to get anything out during that entire period of time. Now he's just trying to keep up the damage as best as he can.
We might see a swap onto Peekaboo here. The gouge onto him. He is kidney shot. This could be big trouble for him. The full sheep onto Goreki. He has no trinket, no bubble available. Peekaboo just getting shredded. Saving the light procs on him, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Into the triple DR. Cheap shot is going to go down, and Northern Gaming Red did an excellent job setting that up, making sure that Peekaboo had no feint up, and they were able to just kill him with that Shadow Dance cooldown coming out from Roasties. Well done by Northern Gaming Red. And now up in this series 2-1.
Yeah, they've really come back swinging. We talked at the start of the broadcast today about how winning that first match gives you such an advantage, and this is what Northern Gaming Red needs to do, is actually win on their opponent's map choice at that point. Now they have the advantage in this series. If they win the next game, that's it. They're fine. They move on. They can afford to lose the next game as well, which is very important, which then, if they lose the next game, it would then be their map pick, their ability to counter.
It looks like Jamili and Samayam are evenly matched, running the exact same talents and glyphs. Roasties as well as Peekaboo look like they're going to be running the same things as well, so very, very evenly matched on both sides. Let's look at the Resto Druid really fast. Cubsy going to be using Glyph of Cyclone, Glyph of Nature's Cure, and Glyph of Barkskin, whereas Goreki is going to be using the exact same thing. So I guess these teams have discovered that this is the best way to run this matchup, and it's just going to come down to strategy, execution, and skill at this point.
Yeah, and that's really, really exciting. That's why I love watching RMD mirrors, I was saying before, because they get so technical, and it's which team can mix up which team and who can capitalize better on which mistakes and so on. So it's going to be really, really, this is going to be a good one, I can tell you from the start. Peekaboo, I love Peekaboo. He's got this little, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but he's got this little hiding spot in a corner that he's just sort of hanging out in. You can kind of see it at the top of your screen right now. It's really funny, just sitting over there. He's doing his best to not get pulled out of stealth right now, basically. That's why he's just hiding in that corner, because he does not want to give Samayam or anybody from Northern Gaming Red the ability to spot him. But now here we go, moving in. They managed to catch Jamili, put him into that sap. Goreki's immediately going to come out of hiding and start throwing out some heals, but he gets caught into a full blind. Is he going to use his trinket, or is he going to hold on to it? Yes, he is going to go ahead and use his trinket and drop the Iron Bark immediately onto Jamili, which is going to allow him to start turning this around a little bit onto Northern Gaming Red, but nice job breaking up that incoming crowd control from Northern Gaming Red. Cubsy was caught into the deep freeze for just a second, but there was no follow-up from that. Now the blind comes out. He's also going to answer with his own trinket and Iron Bark. So not only are these guys playing a mirror match, but they're also doing the exact same things so far in this series.
Samayam actually getting cloned up there by Goreki. Beautiful clones coming out by him. Rosi wants to go aggressive with the Shadow Dance, gets the cheap shot onto Goreki. Ring of Frost being followed up by Samayam. Jamili actually forced into his first ice block, so Temple Storm having to use sort of the first big defensive cooldown at the moment. Jamili going to be coming out of that. Heart of the Wild pop by Goreki. His healing is going to be empowered because of that. Kidney shot into Cyclone on Roasties right now. Samayam running away the best he can, trying to avoid as much damage as he can. Peekaboo on his back though. Peekaboo does have that Shadow Dance coming up in around 10 seconds, so the next to go by Temple Storm is going to be incredibly scary. Samayam actually caught into that ice block. Now Samayam has no ice block for another 30 seconds. Cubsy has no trinket, and Peekaboo does have that Shadow Dance available. They might be able to capitalize stabilize. Looks like he is going to open up on the Samayam, gets down to 10% HP, 2% HP, and uses that Shadow Dance to finish him off.
Yeah, wow. So Samayam got erased. Like, that is... Like, that was so fast that that's not even I didn't even know if what he had available in terms of ice blocks or hypothermia or any of that point, but that damage was so fast that you can't blame him if he didn't hit it in time. It was just ridiculous.
I think he had the ice block. He just...
Asper playing the Balance Druid and Cubsy playing that Holy Paladin.
I've never even seen this glyph before, but Asper is using a glyph of Celestial Alignment. It makes it so his Celestial Alignment lasts 1 minute, or until he's used 8 casted spells. So he's going to have that cooldown for a long time to get out a lot of damage, and they might be able to just roll with the pressure. And if they can get out the proper damage in CC, they might be able to just steamroll Temple Storm right at the beginning of the game. Of course, Temple Storm doesn't want that to happen, so they're going to be playing it very safe, and probably as soon as they see that offensive cooldown coming out of Asper, trying to CC him as long as possible.
Yeah, it's a really interesting glyph because of that CC. It means that when you use your Celestial Alignment, you're gonna get 8 spells out of it, pretty much no matter what. So it's so much more difficult for Tempo Storm in this situation to actually lock out Asper on his Celestial Alignment and prevent that damage. They're gonna have to deal with it no matter what. But here we go. Things are now getting underway here. Asper's caught into a bash, just slowing him down a little bit at the start here. And now the Celestial Alignment has already come out. We'll have to see what he decides to do with it. He's just trying to put out as much damage as possible here in this opener. Already getting an Ice Block out of Jamili. Gorecki getting caught into a whole bunch of different CC there, now into this Cyclone as well. Things are looking really bad for Jamili. And the other nice thing is Asper was able to hang on to a couple of his final casts there, get a couple more of his Celestial Alignment abilities out after that Ice Block ended, I'm pretty sure. So it's actually really interesting that he's chosen that glyph. Now the Smoke Bomb comes out. It looks like they're just trying to put a whole bunch of counter pressure onto Asper here. He's sort of caught by himself, did though manage to get into bear form as well as get his Bark Skin out. So that's going to drastically reduce the damage he's taking and allow him to just feel very comfortable as this game continues.
He has a lot of defensive cooldowns there. He has no Trinket, no Bark Skin available for the next 45 seconds. Looks like he has the target again. Cubsy actually getting caught into a blind. He has to Trinket that. Asper taking a lot of damage. Death from above coming out from Peekaboo onto him. Samayam doing everything he can to slow down the damage, spamming out those Polymorphs onto Jamili. Actually, Asper getting a Cyclone onto Peekaboo as well. So Northern Gaming Red is going to be able to survive for now. Cubsy only really working with his bubble. He has 2 bops as well as his Avenging Wrath. So if he gets the well-timed bops off onto Asper before he goes into that CC, he can mitigate sort of those kidney shots and stuns coming out from Peekaboo. Asper, though, getting caught into the bash, the Deep Freeze onto Cubsy. Asper taking a lot of damage right now. Still doesn't have his Bark Skin up. Save of the Light is going to proc, so luckily for him, he has that. He's going to displace away, get the Cyclone out onto Peekaboo, going to be able to hold on for one more setup.
Yeah, so far going back and forth with these Cyclones has really sort of been defining this game, and it's fairly well documented that when you play the game of clones, you win or you die. So we'll have to see how the game of clones continues to go here. Jamili getting caught into a Cyclone there for just a second. It's just constantly, as we're doing a great job of just throwing those out here and there and making sure that Tempo Storm never really gets the opportunity to do everything that they want to at any given moment. Jamili does catch the Iron Bark there from Gorecki right as soon as he comes out of that CC. They're just trying to stay as aggressive as possible. Both teams sort of playing defensively in an aggressive way, if that makes any sense. They're kind of trying to put damage in, but they don't want to lose the game over it. So now we see Samayam actually moving over here, dropping that Ring of Frost, or trying to. He actually did get locked out on that, and then he gets put into this Cyclone as well. He was trying to lock down Gorecki for a while, but wasn't able to do it, and now he could be in some trouble here. The Save by the Light is going to proc. There's a big bunch of damage coming out from Peekaboo as well. Samayam, he's getting super low. The Ice Block at 5% health, just barely coming out in time, but Cubsy is still Cyclone. Is he going to be able to get any healing out onto Samayam in time? He gets a few heals, but Samayam's still at 40%. He is still in trouble. Yeah,
they were able to force both of Samayam's Ice Blocks in the last like 40 seconds, so Samayam has no more defensive cooldowns left. The Bop coming out from Cubsy. They want to get aggressive. The Hodge on the Peekaboo. The Cross CC coming out. Jamili in a little bit of trouble. He does almost have 2 Ice Blocks up. Going to be using one of those right away. Cold Snap going to be available for him. And Shadow Dance being used by Peekaboo. This could be the end of the game for Samayam. Cubsy doing an excellent job throwing out that Blessing of Sacrifice onto Samayam, preventing some of that incoming damage and making it so he can't really be CC'd by Jamili at least. And it looks like both teams are sort of stabilized for the moment, but both mages don't really have too many cooldowns left. Of course, Jamili does have that one ice block. Salma in a little bit of trouble right now. The bop going out onto Cubs. He's caught into that deep freeze, though. Avenging Wrath is up for him as well. He just needs to get the cast off to top off Salma. Salma wants to get aggressive, uses the Icy Veins. The Hodge onto Peekaboo. Peekaboo taking a little damage, but the Jamili is the main target of choice for Northern Gaming Red. Gouge onto Asper. Peekaboo doing everything he can to CC Northern Gaming Red to prevent Jamili's ice block, but they are able to get that second block from Jamili. He's not going to have another one available for 2 minutes, so both mages, very, very scary situation for them. Luckily for Jamili, Gorecki basically has every single one of his defensive cooldowns. Peekaboo has that Shadow Dance coming up. Salma in a lot of trouble. Cubsy might get put into the full clone at the moment, but he does line of sight at the bash, though, coming out. Might be cloned out of that. Doesn't look like there's going to be any follow-up. The Hodge, though, onto Peekaboo. Deep freeze onto Gorecki. Not going to be any follow-up CC onto him. Jamili should be okay for the time being, but they're not able to get out the damage they want onto Salma. Peekaboo does have that Shadow Dance available. Here it is. Looks like he wants to get aggressive. The Garrote cheap shot onto Salma, clone onto Asper. Every single member of Northern Gaming Red is CC'd right now. Cubsy does get the Blessing of Sacrifice up. That might be able to keep Salma up for the time being, but he's taking so much damage from Jamili and Peekaboo, just hovering around that 30% HP. Smoke Bomb coming out from Peekaboo as well. Gorecki now caught into that full Polymorph Hodge onto Peekaboo. Jamili just trying to run away, trying to line of sight, making it so Gorecki does not have to trinket, but he might have to. The Bash coming out. Ironbark onto Jamili. He should be fine with that. Kitty shot onto Asper. He decides to trinket out of that. He wants to keep the aggressive plays going. Cubsy now caught into the deep freeze, into the Chief. Salma in a little trouble. Cubsy having to use his bubble as a response. Salma should be able to survive with that, as we're trying to get out as much damage as possible, but Jamili's just going to be line of sighting once again.
Yeah, Northern Gaming Red is doing an amazing job right now just turning this game around. With that bubble from Cubsy, that gave enough time for Samayam's Cold Snap to become available, so he will
but
have
Jamili
no
getting
ice block.
dangerously low.
Jamili does not. Down he goes.
Oh my goodness gracious. Just so much damage coming in there from both teams. I mean, Northern Gaming Red, that was like one of their last opportunities to kill. Peekaboo had that Shadow Dance up. The next swap onto them would be really hard, but Northern Gaming Red held on, and they were able to best Tempo Storm, and they are going to take this series 3-2 in sort of a surprise fashion.
Yeah, of course, Tempo Storm not really giving up just yet. They're still trying to stay in. I mean, and why not? Like, this is the last game, their last chance to really claw their way back into this. So Gorecki's just going to keep healing as much as he can, seeing if maybe somehow Peekaboo can get some sort of miracle kill. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Gorecki now down super low. Peekaboo is actually just, Peekaboo has given up at this point. He's just standing there. So that is going to be it. Northern Gaming Red is going to end up taking this series 3-2 over Tempo Storm. They're going to move on, knocking out Tempo Storm, who was easily one of the favorites for this qualifier.
Yeah, if not the favorite, 100%. Yeah. And what matchup do we have next, actually? I think it's going to be Northern. This is the upper bracket final that's going to be happening next, right? Oh, never mind. We have the losers quarterfinals, too. It's going to be Method against Splice coming up here next.
Yeah.